bestbookbits.com brings you the book summary of The Gospel of Wealth by Andrew Carnegie. The Gospel of Wealth summary provides key takeaways, review quotes, and autobiography of Andrew Carnegie's book regarding wealth. Andrew Carnegie could be long gone, but his views about wealth still hold. Andrew Carnegie was one of the wealthiest men in the USA, hence his open support for capitalist model is simple to understand. Carnegie was a Scottish immigrant to America. He collected colossal fortune, especially in the steel sector, in the late 1800s. Carnegie Steel Co. was more than $400 million in today's dollar when it sold. He devoted his remaining life to noble causes. The North American Review published his essay in 1889. Though short, this essay is full of Carnegie's wisdom and vision. Carnegie felt that the law of competition is a capitalist society based. Hence, he said, just some rivals can and must control wealth. This isn't a politically correct idea in today's world, but Carnegie encouraged that wealthy to accept their duty towards society. He practiced what he talked. In his lifetime, he gave over $350 million to many causes. This included setting up many libraries and Carnegie Mellon University. His ideas of charity and capitalism are rooted in using the dollar for a good purpose. Therefore, we recommend this book, The Gospel of Wealth, to all of you. Now, before we start this book summary, we at Best Book Bits have done over 1,000 book summaries in video, written, and audio format, so check us out at bestbookbits.com. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcast, and Apple Podcast. The problem of our age is the proper administration of wealth. This summary, you will learn why Carnegie thought that wealth distribution is the base of capitalism, how the competition law impacts a capitalist society, and why and how the rich must leave a lasting legacy. Takeaways. The real value of money relies on its proper distribution. Law of compensation forms the base of capitalism. Despite its faults, capitalism forms favorable economic situations for society. Capitalism forms a difference between the rich and the middle class. It's certain that most wealthy falls with the few. The rich must follow a humble lifestyle and have a positive social image. Wealthy people must help their fellow beings. Proper oversight is needed, else recipients will mishandle charity. Random acts of donation are often ineffective. They don't benefit the full society. Donors should play an active part in the proper use of their resources. On with the summary, The Gospel of Wealth. Capitalism as a vehicle for growth. Economic development and growth are necessary for a capitalist society. An ideal system forms a line between the rich and the poor. Industry leaders do their duties by creating business opportunities. These produce profit and offer employment for ordinary people. Financial success allows leaders in other areas to enjoy luxuries. These luxuries are beyond that access of the working class. But this isn't a negative situation. Instead, such difference shows economic growth. In a capitalist system, the quality of goods and services is better. Plus, the prices are lower, and hence things are affordable for everyone. Some people may go back to the days of more equality among people, but going back to those days will only be damaging. Today's working class can access necessities. These things were luxuries for even the prosperous 100 years ago. Sadly, economic growth comes at a considerable price. This is especially true in interpersonal relations. The growing gap between the employee-employer becomes a ground for mistrust. An executive can't have excellent relationships with all his workers, especially when it's a massive operation with thousands of people. Hence, workers become just names and faces, and also, both sides are unable to understand the problem of the other. Thus, the ultimate result is damaging to interpersonal relations. The law of competition. The competition law forces employers to be careful about the expenses. Hence, salaries become a primary source of conflict between employee-employer. The law of competition has these flaws, but rejecting its highly positive sides will be short-sighted. For future growth, competition is key. No other system can promote the growth of a business this much. An individual may suffer in the process, but society as a whole reaps the benefits. The ones who accept it will bloom, and the ones who don't accept this will fail. The competition law builds an environment which develops leaders who have great skills. They know that profitability is the right measure of growth, especially in a free market economy. Capitalism allows great people to attain excellent results. This is the opposite of a communist society, where individual growth isn't encouraged. Capitalism supported by competition is better than communism. This system enables all people to find their economic status. It appreciates the spur of individualism in every person. Also, it doesn't support artificial limits, which can stop growth. The system may not be perfect, but it rewards people who are capable and motivated. Distribution of wealth. Capitalism offers excellent chances to nearly all members of society, but only a few are lucky to have the means to collect wealth. Such people have just 3 practical options for distributing their extra wealth. These are: number 1, leave a legacy for their family members on their death. 2, fund organizations and projects to benefit society. 3, distribute resources all through their lives. History is proof that heirs mismanage legacies. European royal families gave their estates to the eldest male child, even if his lavish ways of living ensured the destruction of the money. This behavior raises the question if parents must give their wealth to children. Of course, a parent won't make his child live in poverty, because ensuring a decent life for a child is a parental duty. Still, there's a chance that parents do a disservice by giving millions to their kids. This is especially true for children who don't fend for themselves, or those who don't have any charitable goals. Hence, parents should teach their children a sense of responsibility, and also by giving them proper education. There's a second scenario as well, that is people leaving their wealth for public consumption. Here they give up the chance to do charity while being alive. Sadly, those left in charge don't use the wealth for society's best interest. The rich have the power to sponsor things from which society can benefit. Higher taxes may help. Higher taxes are a suitable means of discouraging the rich from hoarding money. They'll also encourage wealthy people to allocate their resources while they're alive, and not waiting for others to do so once they die. People who collect money don't use for society aren't worthy of admiration. The community won't appreciate this. It'll feel that they left their money because they can't take it to their grave. For society's benefit, the best way of allocating surplus is ensuring that it benefits maximum people. The primary goal is to create a system which invests wealth in noble causes. This is more desirable than the less effective traditional approach. In the old method, donors allocated small sums to society over many years. In the absence of clear direction and control, money may not be appropriately used. People may end up spending it on unnecessary things. Samuel J. Tilden was a former governor of New York. He gave $5 million to build a free library in New York City. This is a great example of how to spend one's fortune for society's benefit. A library opens the world's treasures contained in books for all, but Tilden would have been more praised if he did this when he was alive. This way there wouldn't have been the legal controversy and delay. Wealthy people should identify and be thankful for their gift. They have the chance to help their fellow being. The power to make other people's lives better is a rare gift, and no one should waste this. The mandate for the wealthy. The mandate for the rich is apparent. Live a humble life without any fanfare. Provide sensibly for your family, and see all extra money as a way of helping society. The rich are just acting as a trustee, an agent for the poor fellow beings. Wealthy people should find the best way to use their assets for society's benefits. Of course, there's no universal definition of indulgence, hence one can't identify whether a rich person is leading a life of luxury. One can't even tell the level to which a person works within his sensibility, but public sentiment is a mediator of good taste. It could be in matters of lifestyle, dressing, or behavior. A person showing his money prefers appearance over substance, also doesn't see charity seriously. In this sense, the public's judgment is often right. Sensible charity. The random distribution of donation is a big hurdle in society's growth. There's a dire need for wise advice and administration. Otherwise, donors waste millions on the unworthy and drunken. Randomly donated money increases problems it should be removing. The money you give drunkards will not only bring any chance in their lives, instead they're likely to misspend it. Giving charity may make people feel good about themselves. It may also stop beggars from being a nuisance for some time, but the same amount invested in a worthy cause will have a more significant impact. The primary goal of charity is benefiting people who want to improve their life, but they don't have the means to do so. In a few cases otherwise, hard-working people are stuck with bad luck. Hence, they want temporary financial help. In most cases, though, donors must donate to those whose intentions are genuine and not to those who are just seeking a handout. So if you wish to give, find where your money is going. Follow people who build infrastructure which helps societal growth. For examples, books, libraries, etc. help people to grow their mental and physical skills. Museums please the senses and elevate the society by large. Not evil, but good has come from the accumulation of wealth by those who have the ability and energy to produce it. Solving the problem. The proper allocation of money has many benefits. It leaves the wealthy free to continue collecting wealth. It assures the rich that they won't have to compromise their individuality. Instead, society trusts them to act on behalf of the deprived. Hence, the rich will use their powers to manage society's wealth for the larger good. Millionaires should realize that there's no pride in dying rich. The wealthy who don't donate when they're alive will die unsung. Applying the gospel of wealth will help the humankind. It will also mend the gap between the poor and the rich. The gospel of wealth quotes, "The problem of our age is the proper administration of wealth. Not evil, but good has come from the accumulation of wealth by those who have the ability and energy to produce it." Individualism, private property, and the law of accumulation of wealth and the law of competition are the highest result of human experience. The price which society pays for the law of competition, like the price it pays for cheap comforts and luxuries, is also great, but the advantages of this law are also greater still than its cost. It is to this law that we owe our wonderful material development. Upon the sacredness of property civilization itself depends the right of the labourer to his $100 in his savings bank, and equally the legal right of the millionaire to his millions. What is the proper mode of administrating wealth after the laws upon which civilization is founded have thrown it into the hands of the few? By taxing estates heavily at the depth, the state marks its condemnation of the selfish millionaire's unworthy life. The rich have it in their power during their lives to busy themselves in organizing beneficiaries from which the masses of their fellows will derive lasting advantage. There is no mode of disposing of surplus wealth credible to thoughtful and earnest men, save by using it year by year for the general good. Of every $1,000 spent in so-called charity today, it is probable that $950 is unwisely spent. In bestowing charity, the main consideration should be to help those who will help themselves. No man is to be thanked by the community by which he only leaves wealth at death. Men who leave vast sums in this way would not have left it at all if they have been able to take it with them. And that's a wrap on this summary, The Gospel of Wealth. If you like this summary, you can download this. We at Best Book Bits have done over 1,000 summaries in video written in audio format. Check us out at bestbookbits.com. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Google Podcast. And if you want to support the channel, we've put together our top 450 Best Book Bits summaries in one massive downloadable PDF file and also MP3, so you can read and listen anywhere on the go. Thank you again for watching and listening. Have yourself an amazing day. Take care. Bye-bye now.